Hello everyone, welcome back to Sharing My Van Life. After several years of traveling across Canada and the United States in my van, I've learned a lot of things I never expected. Some are practical, some surprised me, and some completely changed how I looked at travel. Today I thought I'd share a few of those lessons and observations from life on the road. One of the first things I learned is that speed limits vary quite a bit across Canada. Every province seems to have its own rules and driving culture. It's something I never paid attention to before I started traveling regularly between the provinces. Another thing that surprised me was how different rest stops are in Canada compared to the United States. In many parts of Canada, rest stops are fewer and farther between. And they're very basic, very rustic, often just have a pit toilet. And there's often less signage letting you know that they're coming. I often found larger rest stops with more amenities and better advance warning in the States. They had flush toilets, running water, lots of luxuries compared to Canada rest stops. And then speaking of roads, I discovered that some of my favorite drives have been on the secondary highways or the smaller roads. They have fewer truck stops and services, but they're often far more scenic and slower paced, which I love. I've seen beautiful scenery, interesting small towns, and hidden gems that I would have completely missed by sticking to the faster routes. I learned things when I travel. I had certain assumptions which were blown to pieces. Texas was one eye-opener for me. Before traveling there, I mostly associated Texas with cattle ranches and wide open plains. What I didn't realize was that Texas had also beautiful beaches along the Gulf Coast. It completely changed my perception of the state. Weather has also surprised me. I had no idea that parts of Texas receive snow. The same goes for New Mexico, Arizona. Before visiting, I pictured desert landscapes and warm, hot temperatures year-round. Instead, I discovered mountain ranges and winter weather and ski hills, and it looked nothing like what I expected. California surprised me too. Most people think of sunshine, beaches, and palm trees. I certainly did. But California has mountains, ski resorts, and plenty of snow in certain areas. In fact, one of the biggest surprises was Northern California. I never realized just how mountainous it was until I drove through it. The scenery was stunning and completely different from the California many of us picture. One of the things I always enjoy is discovering small towns with unique names. Traveling has introduced me to places with names like Hope, Loving, Blessing, and Church. Sometimes I find myself smiling just because of a town's name on a road sign. Here's a funny observation. Why don't more gas stations have long-handled squeegees? When you're driving a van or a taller vehicle, and those of us that are short, cleaning the windshield can be quite a challenge. But perhaps the biggest lesson I've learned is this. Sometimes going off plan leads to the best experiences. Some of my favorite roads, campsite viewpoints, and memories happened because I took a different route, followed a recommendation, or simply got curious about what was down that road. Travel has taught me that not everything needs to be scheduled. Sometimes the unexpected detour becomes the highlight of the trip. Those are just a few of the things I've learned while traveling across Canada and the United States. I'd love to hear from you. What's something you've learned while traveling that completely surprised you or changed your view about a place? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Talk to you later. Bye for now.